Hello, everyone. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com with your morning market outlook for Friday, February 27th, 2026. Well, this is Friday and it is the last trading day of the month, which usually has a bullish bias to it, but we're not seeing that this morning. We've got stock index futures in Bitcoin currently trading lower. We've got a couple of tech stocks pulling the Dow down in the pre market on Friday. At the same time, we've got commodities, both gold and crude oil, are trading up on Friday morning. That could certainly help the Canadian market. Yesterday, we saw Nvidia reverse, and it traded up over $200 in the pre-market. But then came back and actually opened lower than the previous day's close and headed lower throughout the day. It is trading down in the pre-market this morning. You can see that the pros barely took control over the last couple of weeks in which we're on a buy signal. And then the pros gave up control yesterday. And we're back on a sell signal as of Thursday's close. And we are currently trading lower in the pre-market. So it looks like buy the rumor, sell the news for NVIDIA. Now, on Friday mornings, I like to print off some weekly charts just to see how the big picture looks going into the weekend. The VIX down slightly on the week. We know that the VIX generated a sell signal on Wednesday. It's come back on Thursday, so not a big move there for the VIX. Certainly no change on the weekly charts. Slight decline for the S&P 500, slight gain for the NASDAQ, little bigger gain, just over 0.5% for the Russell 2000. Fortunately, semiconductors are going to continue to move lower on Friday, with NVIDIA leading the semiconductors lower. Then looking at gold stocks, they're up over 7% on both sides of the border. This is the XAU, which is called the Gold and Silver Index. So you've got a mix of companies there. Then looking at the TSX, we're up over 2% on the week, with commodities trading higher this morning. Maybe we can push that a little more, but we have run up to major resistance, so we'll look at that in a few minutes. Looking at the energy sector, down slightly on the week, inside week so far for the energy sector. Financials are up on the week. We've got, again, gold stocks up over 7%, the index making a new high here. Then we've got industrials up over 2%. And then we've got Bitcoin down a tick over 0.5% on the week. Now, moving from weekly charts to daily charts, and we'll take a look at the three major index ETFs we like to follow. There's the SPY. It generated a buy signal based on Wednesday's close. Unfortunately, we had a reversal day yesterday. The pros have not taken control. Now, we are in a trading range. We've been in a trading range for a couple of months now. And, there was a chance we could have run up and retested, but the market didn't do that. And so that's probably a bearish sign. But the bulls aren't going to give up until we see a breakdown below the January and February lows. And we're not expected to see that on Friday. The NASDAQ, too, had a big reversal day yesterday. We talked about running up to resistance on Thursday morning. We'd run up to the 617.19 level on Wednesday, which stopped us out earlier in February. And then we came back down and landed on a price target at 609.38. And again, the bulls are not going to give up until we start to break down below the February lows for the NASDAQ. Now, you can see that the pros have not been in control of the NASDAQ through the whole month of February. We did have a bullish reversal day, which marked the bottom of this particular move. But so far, even with all the buying over the past couple of weeks, the pros have not taken control of the NASDAQ. Now, that is not true for the TSX. There's the TSX 60 making a new all-time high yesterday, hitting the $50 level. So if you had an order in up there, congratulations, it got filled yesterday. And you can see that the pros have been in control through most of the month of February, and it certainly doesn't look like they want to give up control on Friday. Looking at the VIX seasonality chart tells us that it usually rises dramatically during the month of March, and maybe that's what investors are getting prepared for on Friday. We had a sell signal in the VIX on Wednesday. We came back in the channel on Thursday. That's also true for the VIX for the NASDAQ and the Russell 2000. We talked about the fact that the VIX had traded down to the 200-day moving average and stopped. In fact, it moved down to a convergence of all the major moving averages and stopped. And we're looking for a breakdown of that to help encourage the market to move higher. That's not happening on Friday. A lot of movement in the banking sector. We saw Bank of America move up into the channel yesterday. We're on a new buy signal for Bank of New York. And there is Citigroup sitting right on the edge of a new daily buy signal. No joy yet for JP Morgan or Keystone, and no joy for PNC or Wells Fargo coming into Friday's trading action. Now, looking at the Canadian banks, it was an inside day yesterday for the Bank of Montreal, Bank of Nova Scotia, trading up and closing right above the upper channel line yesterday. Then we've got a new high for CIBC, running up to the 343.75 level. We got up to 343.80. So congratulations if you had an order in up there. Then we've got the National Bank making a new high yesterday and trying to get to 193.75. Then we've got the Royal Bank, which has been struggling at the 237.50 level for a couple of months now. And then the TD Bank making a new high on Wednesday, heading towards the 137.50 level. Okay, folks, that's all I wanted to cover in this morning's presentation. Running a little late this morning due to technical difficulties. I want to wish you a happy Friday, a happy weekend, and if you remember, next time you'll hear my voice is on Sunday. Otherwise, we'll be back on Monday to look at what happened on Friday.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.